Well, last night was an exhibition game against Southwest Baptist, but there were three notable players that did not play. Two of them due to injury, and the other, it's a complicated issue. Kaylin Bickle, she had an injury. I noticed something on her, like around this area. She had something around her thumb, hand thing. I don't know what specifically it was, but injury is. But I noticed that from before that she had that, and she's definitely out for a few weeks, but it could be up to 3. Erica Porter, who had like a knee brace. I noticed she had that. I'm just not sure what the injury was, but it's a day-to-day deal for her. Erica Porter, by the way, according to the Baylor website, 6 foot at 4, but she may be taller than that. Might be. And you know, Kaylin Bickle is a 6 foot 1 inch forward. And Dre Edwards did not play. Apparently, it's an eligibility issue. I have no idea what the issue would be. I know in the past that she's transferred twice now. Utah to Kentucky after that 2019-2020 season. Then went to Kentucky, was there until last year, and then she transferred again. I honestly don't have a clue if she's going to be cleared or not. But that's something to keep an eye on here, because you know she's probably one of the better players on the team. I'm not just saying that just because all the other players are bad. I don't know. She's good. I mean, it's the truth. And Drea Edwards is a 6 foot forward, so she would be, to me, an automatic starter. That's how big of a deal it is. But I will say this. I'm not sure when the injuries occurred. I'm not sure. For all I know, it could have just happened yesterday. It could have been before last week. It's definitely not the first practice of the season. It's not that. It was not that. So I would assume it's got to have to be within the last week, I would think, but I'm not sure. But I did see a lot of positives. Of course, the fouling needs to be cut down. Of course, but it's early on in the year. And you gotta make more free throws. But they were facing against a 6 foot 6 inch forward, and somehow and Darion Lopez Bugs made a jump shot over her. I mean, if you're smaller, take her out and print, then drive. I know it's going to be tougher to do that, but I mean 6 double-digit scores, and nearly had a 7th in Jana Van Guyden with 9 points last night. She nearly had that. So, and not only that, Sarah Andrews had 7 also. So there was a lot of balance last night, and I'm going to go over the stats for the game just to keep it in context. Granted, I know Bella Fonto-Leroy got poked in the eye. Same goes for Sarah Andrews and Andrews too. But you know, at least it was not like a neat or somebody else. trying to get to the Baylor part. Okay. So, Jenna Van Guyton only had 9 points, 1 for 5 on threes, 4 for 9 from the field, but she had 5 assists, 2 turnovers, 1 steal. And you can't get past her based on her quickness. And she's coming off the bench. I mean, Danielle Page Buggs had 5. She was 5 for 8 for the field with 13 points on 5 for 8 shooting, including 3 for 4 on free throws. She did have 8 rebounds in the game. Jana did also have 4 in the game. Granted, Dariana had 3 fouls. I mean, only 1 turnover in the game, but 2 steals. Janet Owens had 12 points, 5 for 10 from the field, but 2 for 7 from 3. Of course, I would like that number to go up, as well as Jana on 3-point shooting. But, you know, it's a practice game. You gotta get the nerves out. I mean, she had like 4 assists, no turnovers in the game, 2 rebounds. Kyle Abraham played like 6. She had 6 points. So, and only in 10 minutes, 2 for 3 from the field and 2 for 2 on free throws. 4 rebounds in the game, 2 fouls, and one steal, and one turnover. Jamie Asbury had 11 points on 3 for 6 shooting, including 2 for 4 from the 3, and making all 3 free throws count. She had 2 fouls and 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Bella Fontoroy had like 12 points in the game, 5 for 7 from the field, 1 for 3 on 3, 1 for 1 on free throws, 6 rebounds, 2 fouls, 1 turnover, 1 block. St. Andrews only had 7 points in 18 minutes, 3 for 8 shooting, 1 for 4 on threes. Of course, I like that number to go up a little bit, just like get at least 2 threes out of 4, but you know, that's not a big major complaint. And 4 rebounds in the game, 5 assists, 1 turnover, only 1 foul, 1 steal as well. Kendra Gillespie, I know she didn't play. She only played 17 minutes. I know she was horrible on free throws. I mean, 1 for 6. That number got to go up. That has to improve. That has to improve. But there's one thing that she did very, very well. 10 rebounds in the game. 1 foul, 1 turnover. 1 assist, 2 turnovers, 1 steal. Kyra Ferrer, I know she didn't have a good game for a long time. She only had 1 point for a while, but in the 4th quarter, she got up to 10 points somehow. 3 for 7 from the field, 1 for 2 on threes, 3 for 4 on free throws. 2 fouls, 1 assist, 1 steal. Asia Blackwell led the way with 16 points on 5 for 7 from the field, 6 for 7 on free throws, which I like that number. I do. I mean, four rebounds, 1 foul, 1 turnover, and one steal. I admit this team may not be the tallest, but they're going to be so fast and get on the break and shoot threes and penetrate. At least if you could penetrate, you get a lot easier looks from the outside. And if they take away the outside, they're going to give you the inside, and you might have the quickness advantage. So, and they did out-rebounded the opponent last night by a significant margin. 47-28. I mean, only 18 assists in the game, which I want that number to go up. And only 9 turnovers, but most of those turnovers were in the second half when it was a blowout, practically. So, you know, that's not really that bad. I mean, overall, of course, free throw shooting, 19 for 27 for the whole game, with 70.4%. That's about average, though I'd like that number to go up. Overall from the field, 35 for 68, 51.5%. I can't complain with that. I can't. 8 for 25 on threes. Of course, I know that's about 32%, but I like the number to go higher percentage with more threes made. But that's just nitpicky. That's just nitpicky right there. Same goes for the free throws. Granted. 16 fouls in a game. That has to improve. But the opponent had 22. But granted, it's the first game. That's a half and 8 steals overall. I mean, that's pretty good. So as you could tell, there was a lot of balance despite having only 10 players available. When are we going to get those other players back is to be determined. I'm going to keep my eye out for that. Especially on the eligibility thing. Because who knows on that. The injuries, they don't usually talk about it a lot, to be fair. Because they want to keep it to themselves mostly. Some coaches do and make a gamesmanship thing. But still, it's good showing. But the good news is, I will say, they don't have like a top 25 opponent until Maryland. And that's on November 20th. 16 days. I mean, that's enough time to get at least one player back, I would hope. And in terms of injury. And maybe we know something on Dre Edwards on her eligibility by then. Whether or not she's clear to play this year or if she's going to have to sit out. I don't know. Caitlin Bickle is a who knows deal too. I mean, but at worst, I want Caitlin Bickle to be back by December. Because you got to get her some games before the Big 12. I mean, in December, you got like Houston Christian, UT Arlington, Tennessee State. I want her Arizona, Long Beach State. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games at least before the Big 12. Granted. And she may come back quicker than December. She may be back before then. But I'm just saying, we don't know on the timetable. As fans, we don't. But the coaches do. We'll keep an eye out for it. And I know I will too. I just want to break down what happened last night in terms of like stats and overall how I think we did. And the injuries, updates, / eligibility possibly being an issue for Dre Edwards. Erica Porter would be like somebody off the bench, by the way, I would assume. But you never know. Because she's good enough to start, possibly. We'll see. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into 400 subscribers and more by the end of this year. Or eventually.